What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Love After Lockup Season 4, episode number 30 for you guys. So, this episode is titled Ditched and Dismissed, you guys. So, before we just jump into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and aren't subscribed, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out in this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Love After Lockup, shall we? All right, you guys. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This episode, two couples in this episode, their scenes really pissed me off, and I'm pretty positive you guys can if you guys watch the episode, I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm talking about. So let's talk about the first one that pissed me off, Justine and Michael. So you guys remember in last week's episode that Justine wasn't too thrilled about Michael inviting Mocha, to the park where the family was, right? And you guys know, like I said in last week's episode, if Michael feels that, I know he's his manager, right? But you can clearly tell that Michael looks at Mocha as if he's a brother to him, right? So he wanted to see him. And I was okay with that. What I was not okay with was when Mocha got there. You can even see that that Michael's family was very happy to see Mocha. They went and gave Mocha a hug. But Justine was over there being very passive aggressive and like, oh, this is, everything for the family, the family, the family. She kept saying the family. And I'm just like, Justine, let it go. He's here. What can you do about it at this point, right? So she was like, his family's happy to see him, but I'm not. That's because they have a relationship with Mocha, and obviously they look at Mocha as family. So you got to let that shit go at this point, sis. So Michael then pulled his dad to the side, right? And Michael was having a conversation with his dad about, the fact that he really didn't come and visit him when he was in prison. So Michael's dad did go to see him, but when he got home, he said he was so shaken up about going down there that it took him 6 months to just kind of bounce back, right? And I know what he's talking about, right? Because I told you guys plenty of times, as a kid, I had an uncle and a cousin that was in prison, and we would go visit them, and that is like, it's hard when you go down to a prison. You have to go through some of those checkpoints, right? That's a lot, right? And then you have to sit there and you have to see your family member behind bars. Now, granted, your family member did something to put themselves behind bars, but you don't want to live out that sentence with them, number one. And then when me and my family would leave, we would be happy because we saw my uncle or my cousin, and we would talk about the conversation and how good they looked, right? But you would still feel a way, like, damn, they're in jail for, and again, it's something that they did, but you just feel a way, right? Because it feels like you're living that sentence with them. So I understood where Michael's dad was coming from. I really did. So then, while Michael was talking to his dad, his mother came up to Michael, right? And his mother is talking about Michael's children and, about Justine being a disciplinary for the kids, right? Now, do I think that Justine should be a disciplinarian for Michael's children? I don't. But that should be a conversation for Michael, Justine, and the mothers of his children to have a conversation about. Justine's role in the kids' life, she is their stepmother. So she has a role in their lives. But as far as being, a disciplinarian to those children, that is a conversation that those people need to have, not his mother, right? So Justine came up, and Michael, I do like the fact that Michael was defending Justine, talking about, the way that Justine is raising her kids. She's doing an amazing job, right? And Michael's mother pissed me off in this episode. Michael's mother was being so fucking judgmental, right? So Justine came up, and Justine overheard the conversation, and Justine told his mama, like, I think you just trying to start some shit, right? And she was like, oh no. And Justine was like, yes, you are. And I was like, absolutely, she's starting shit. Because first of all, these are your grandchildren, not your children. You didn't birth them. The women that Michael slept with and created these kids with, those are their children. So those women say what can happen to their kids and what cannot happen to their kids. You have no say so. Only people that you have a say so over are your grown ass kids, and you can't say nothing to them about what they do, right? So then, Justine and his mother went up and talked, right? And his mother is talking about she's not gonna allow her granddaughter to get a tattoo, and I was like, say what now? First of all, ma'am, that is not your daughter. So if that girl wants to go get a tattoo, she's gonna have to go talk to her mother, and her mother is gonna have to say yes or no if she gets a tattoo. So I guess Justine's daughter has a tattoo and her belly button pierced, right? So her daughter came to her, and she told her that she wanted a tattoo, and Justine was like, "Okay, we're gonna go do it together." And I'm like, that's commendable, right? Like, I don't have an issue with that. At least her daughter felt comfortable enough to go talk to her mama and say, "Mama, I want to get my belly button pierced and I want a tattoo." At least she didn't go behind her mama's back and do it. Because most teenagers, I mean, let's be real, most teenagers, we go behind our parents' backs and we do things. But Justine's daughter actually went to her and said, "Mom, I want a tattoo and I want a piercing." And Justine said, let's go get it done. Justine probably took her daughter to a tattoo shop where they have to, have a license, and they have to have, they clean their instruments and everything. So Justine probably took the proper precautions with her daughter getting her belly button pierced and to get her tattoos. But Michael's mother over here is being judgmental as hell, and I did not like that, right? And I was on Justine's side because Justine is like, "Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to mother my daughter," and I was like, "Exactly." And ma'am, you should take it as a good thing if your granddaughter goes up to Justine and say, "Hey, Justine, I want to get a tattoo. I want to get a piercing," right? If your granddaughter feels comfortable with Justine, that means that Justine is doing her job by letting that girl know that I'm not trying to be your mama, but I am a part of your life, and if I want you to feel comfortable to come and talk to me. That's a good thing if your granddaughter does that to her. Feel comfortable enough going up and talking to Justine about that. So ladies, sit your ass down and shut the hell up, right? And Justine, I think Justine was just talking with her hands, right? And she was like, "I don't like the way that you're talking to me." And I was like, "You don't like the way that Justine is talking to you, but you're disrespecting her parenting style. Like, fuck how you feel, lady. Literally, fuck how you feel when you coming at this woman sideways." And I was team Justine, right? So then Michael's mama went and got his sister and tried to come check Justine, and I was like, "Justine, don't back down." Justine said, "Don't worry about it. I got this." And I'm like, "Okay." And Justine did not back down to them. She went at both of them. So then they talking about, "Oh, things ain't gonna last that long between you and Michael." That's what y'all been wanting to say to Justine. That's what y'all been wanting to say to her. And I just thought it was so tacky and disgusting. And I like the fact that Michael told them, "You're my family and this is my family, and y'all gonna have to respect her," right? But then where Michael lost me was when he was talking to Justine about how she was being passive aggressive. She was being passive aggressive with Mocha, with your mama, with you and your sister. She was not being passive aggressive. And Michael, like, he doesn't want to, he's not going to fight his family. Justine is not saying fight your family. Justine is just basically saying, tell your mama to stay in her place. Stay in her place. This is my daughter. I gave birth to her. If I wanted my daughter to get a tattoo, then I did that, right? I would rather, and like I just said a minute ago, it's better that her daughter felt comfortable enough and respected her mama enough to go to her mama and say, "Mama, I want a tattoo. I want my belly button pierced," instead of her going down and getting a belly button piercing or a tattoo and then getting a staph infection or any kind of infection, getting stuff done back alley. We know how stuff like that happens with surgeries and even with tattoos. I know people who've gotten tattoos and that shit got infected because the needles weren't clean, or people who got piercings and the needle wasn't clean. The piercing equipment wasn't clean, and you get infections. You get lady, shut up. I just really want his mama to shut up, and I'm not trying to disrespect his mama, but I didn't like the way she was disrespecting Justine. Like, Justine didn't do anything to you. Justine was actually being very respectful of you. You were trying to start shit. Yes, that is your granddaughter, but you don't have a say-so on what your granddaughter does Your granddaughter's mother has to say so in what she does. And I didn't expect to go this long on that situation, but it really did piss me off, you guys. But let's pause here and move forward, you guys. I'm gonna skip the next couple and go to Gabby and Chris, you guys. Gabby and Chris, I really would love for these two to be off this show. I don't like Gabby and I don't like Chris, especially after seeing. I didn't see the whole video, but I know what happened in the video, and I just don't know why WeTV would even give this couple the airtime. So Gabby dropped. Remember, Gabby dropped Chris off at the halfway house, right? So Gabby has gone through Chris's phone and she's found some call logs where he's talked to women, right? And when I say he talked to them, when he talked to those women, he literally talked to them. One woman, he was on the phone with her for 57 minutes. I'm like, damn, a whole hour. One was 33 minutes, one was 34 minutes. So Gabby is, feeling the way that Chris is doing that, right? What did you expect? First of all, who the hell is Chris talking to? Oh, God, Chris is... And it's so interesting. Chris is the only one that looks like that. Because his sister, she's not an ugly girl. And then we met his brother in this episode, and his brother looked better than Chris. So Gabby called Chris, and she was like, asking him who these women were that he's talking to. He was like, some of them are just friends, and one of them was his hairstylist. I was like, okay. You on your phone with your hairstylist for 33 minutes and an hour? I might not like Gabby, but I know that you full of shit, Chris. So, I guess Chris is supposed to be... Oh, yeah, Chris is supposed to leave the halfway house and come to her home, right? In Jersey, right? So, we see Chris as he is getting out of the halfway house. So, Gabby didn't show up to get him from the halfway house, but his mama and his brother are there, right? So, they get on the train, and, they're talking about Gabby. And, his mama still don't see it for Gabby. And I honestly don't blame his mama for not seeing it for Gabby, because Gabby is confrontational. She is confrontational and she is disrespectful as fuck. So I don't have an issue with his mama not seeing it for Gabby, because I don't see it for Gabby, right? So they asked Chris, like, where you gonna go? So Chris is like, he's still gonna go to Jersey. And I'm like, why? What logical reason do you have to go to Jersey? Why not stay with your mama or your... Chris is also stupid too, right? Because Chris has talked to... This is the second time that Chris has mentioned the fact that, remember, he got that settlement for getting beat up in prison, right? By the guards. He gave Gabby the money for the ring. And then you guys know Gabby got her lips done, her eyebrows done, to stuff done to her eyebrows, her whole face, her booty, her vagina, probably her breast. I don't know what Gabby got done. I don't really care what Gabby got done. But yeah, Chris is stupid for giving Gabby the money. Now I did hear somebody say that Chris really didn't give Gabby the... I don't know how true this stuff is. I really don't be caring, especially with these two. So when Chris and his mama and brother got off the train, right, they asked him, like, where you going? He said he's still going to Jersey. So he called Gabby. So Gabby said, meet me at the train station, right? So Chris is sitting there, go to the train station. He calls Gabby and, says he's here. She says, okay, she'll be there or something like that, right? So I think 40 minutes had passed. No Gabby showed. No Gabby. Gabby called him and said she changed her mind. I was like, okay. I don't care, you guys. When it comes to Gabby and Chris, they annoy me. So let's pause here and move over to the next couple, you guys. So this next couple, I don't think I like either one of them, but I really don't like the one that was in the free world first. Nathan and Skyler. There is something wrong with Nathan, and I just can't put my finger on what that something is. So you guys remember in last week's episode, they had to meet Skyler at a park, right? So they met Skyler. So Skyler did show up. Skyler, when she tells her story, and I didn't even notice it until this episode, Nathan got Skyler's name tattooed right here. She got his name tattooed right here. Like I was saying yesterday in Hot Topics about, what's her name? Summer Walker. Baby, there's just no way in hell I would get anybody's name tattooed on my body. That ain't my family. You have got to be related to me for me to get your name tattooed on me, right? So I don't think that Nathan and Skyler are gonna make it, and I don't think they're gonna make it because of Nathan, because there is just something off about Nathan, right? And I was noticing it when they were interacting, when she got out of the car. I was like, there's something off here. And then Skyler. So Skyler gave us a rundown of her life, right? How she was 14 years old. She lived a privileged life from how she was talking, right? She started smoking weed. Then she was talking about how she's done fentanyl. I was like, you've done fentanyl and you're still, she said, and she even said, I shouldn't even be here. I was like, you damn sure shouldn't be here with fentanyl. That is what's taking a lot of people out with these overdoses. But okay. So I came up with the conclusion that, Miss Skyler was just a little white girl who, her parents probably could afford a good lifestyle for her, right? But she didn't want that. She got bored and she just wanted to rebel and do whatever the hell she wanted to do. And that's really what her life is. She was just a bored, privileged little white girl. Because she didn't have to get into the things that she got into. She just chose to get into the things that she got into. So you guys know that Skyler and Nathan, they're going to be staying at his grandmother's house. Now, is his grandmother still alive? Because she was talking about, does his grandmother still want this stuff? Now, that house is outdated, right? But I mean, that's a woman of a certain age, so I'm not surprised. But I didn't like the fact that she was talking about, getting a black trash bag and just throwing things out. Girl, this is not your house. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and go along with the ride. Now, does the house look a little, like I said, the house is outdated. And I also think that house is like my grandmother's house, right? Because my grandmother's house is an older house. We don't have a shower in the house. We don't have, central AC in the house. The house was built, I think my grandmother's house was built in the 60s or the 70s. So yeah, my grandmother's house is super old. It's old, but it works for my family, right? And y'all ain't got the money to update that house, so I really want her to sit down and be quiet, right? Then they went to a coffee shop. When a little girl at the coffee shop asked her, what does jail coffee taste like? I was like, oh my God. So this was where I really noticed how weird Nathan was, right? Because Nathan was sitting there drinking his coffee and was like, oh, I spilled something on my shirt. He said, is there a hole in my cup? Is there a hole in my cup? Is there a hole in my cup? And she was like, you probably don't know how to drink it. And I'm like, exactly. You probably was drinking it and it spilled on you. So he went out to the car and changed his shirt. And he was just sitting there. She went to the bathroom and changed her clothes. When he came back in, he was just as awkward. I'm like, no. I would have said, take me to my mama's house somewhere. There's just no, I don't think that these two are going to, like I said, I just don't think that Nathan and Skyler are going to last. And I just really believe it's going to be because of Nathan. He just gives me very weird. He's very awkward. So let's pause here, you guys, and move over to the next couple. The next couple is Eris and Cameron. I don't know how to feel about Eris and Cameron. I will say one thing about Cameron. Cameron is hilarious, right? When that fool was in the interview talking about sex with her and slapping and all that kind of stuff, I was like, what the fuck? He's a weird guy. But I kind of like Cameron, right? What I did notice, so did you guys notice that he was smoking as they were leaving prison, because he has to go to a halfway house, right? And I was like, is he smoking a cigarette or is that a blunt that he's smoking? I'm like, I hope that that's a cigarette, because sir, if you smoking a blunt fresh out of prison, you might be looking to take your little ass right back to jail, right? So, he's a rapper. He's telling Eris about, a video that he wants to do, and what the concept of it is. He wants the girls in the video, want the girls making out with each other, and Eris is like, no, you got to have some boundaries. And I was like, okay, girl. Because here's my thing with Eris. Because Eris is a beautiful girl. But it's giving a little bit of insecurity. And because if you feel, I mean, I get wanting to set boundaries and whatnot. But that just sounds like it just sounds like you are afraid that if he's around beautiful women that he may stray. If he strays a girl, he just strays and let his ass go. Let him go be with that person that he strayed with, right? So they were driving, right? And they pulled over at a gas station. So they started kissing, and I was like, girl, he was just filling up her boob. I was like, girl, he is really filling your titties. I'm like, y'all, please don't do what I think y'all finna do. Please do not fuck in this car, because she was like, cover the cameras up. I was like, girl, please don't fuck in this car. I hope they didn't do it in the car. But the next morning we see them and they are at a hotel. And, that's when he was talking about how the sex was with her. I bet you he wore her ass out. That little nigga looked like he would probably wear a woman's back all the way out. Just saying. So she eventually did drop him off at the halfway house, right? And that's really... Now, you guys know I do watch the episode after it goes off sometimes. So there are sometimes there are scenes that they do cut out. So if they did cut something out, you guys can let me know in the comment section if I missed something. I hope I didn't. But that's it for Eris and Cameron. We're going to pause here and wrap up the episode with Monique and Derek, you guys. All right, you guys. So lastly, Monique and Derek. In this episode, Monique pissed me off. I was so annoyed with Monique in this episode. Now, there was one particular scene I was like, girl, you's a fucking fool. But I don't think she did it. I don't think she really did it. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Pay for that food. I'm going to tell you guys why in just a minute. So, Monique and Derek, you guys remember that they had sex the night before, right? And they wake up the next morning. And, the producers asked her how was the sex. She said it was about a 7 out of 8 because Derek didn't do any foreplay. And I was like, she's talking about, Derek is young. I'm like, that ain't young, ain't got nothing to do with foreplay, baby. Foreplay ain't got nothing to do with being your age. Derek just wanted to bust a nut. Let's just keep it real, right? So they're in bed, right? So Monique asked Derek, so you're not going anywhere, right? And I'm like, Monique, that is your insecurities. Like, girl, be confident in who you are. Like, if he wants to go, if he's gonna leave you, baby, he's gonna leave you regardless of you asking him or not, right? So Derek's phone rang at one point, and he didn't know who it was. Well, he knew who it was, but he didn't know the girl. He didn't want to say the girl's name because he didn't want to misspeak, right? But I guess the girl wanted to see him. Whoever it was called him private. Then the one number that wasn't private, he called it. They answered the phone, but they didn't say anything to him, right? So then we later see Monique and Derek. So they went out for their first date. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Now, if this was the real world where he just got out of prison and talking about a first date, girl, you're paying for the first date because he ain't got no money and he ain't got no job. So no, I'll be like, we can wait until you get a job and you can actually treat me to a date, right? But this is We TV. This is a produced show. So I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. All that food that Derek was ordering, I was like, damn, where are you gonna put all this food away at, sir? Because he was ordering a lot of shit. And at one point in the episode, they had a big ass they had a to-go bag, and that bag was full of food. I was like, damn, how much food did he really order? So, after that, while they were eating, Derek is telling Monique how, he want to go to the casino. He want to go get some money so they can go to this casino. I was like, Monique, you would be a fool if you actually do that. Go get some money so y'all can go to the casino, and he can gamble away your money. It ain't gonna happen. We can go to the casino. We can go to the bar. We can have fun. But I ain't finna blow my money. I ain't finna let you blow away my money, my hard-earned money. Absolutely not, right? So she tells him no. I didn't like when she told him no, right? Because that's like you're mothering him, and that's what it feels like when it comes to Monique. It's like she's mothering him. It's mothering him, but she's also smothering him at the same time, right? So she tells him she's going back to the hotel. So then, while they're still sitting at the table, this guy that Derek knew from his past came up to him, and they had a whole conversation. And the guy gave Derek his phone number. Derek was talking about how his girl is tired, but he want to go to the casino. First of all, this man just got out of prison, so this man just wants to have a little bit of fun. And I understood where Derek was coming from, right? Do I think Derek is using Monique? Yes. So when the guy gave him his phone number, Monique said, let me see your phone. I was like, Derek, you know what she's about to do, right? I guess he didn't. Because he asked her, what was she doing? I'm like, she's deleting she's deleting his contact out of your phone. And lo and behold, that's exactly what she did. And I got her logic about why she said she was doing it, because of Derek's lifestyle, how he was before with the people that he knew. But you can't tell him who to hang out with and who not to hang out with, because that sounds like, once again, that man's going right back to prison. He's answering to you. So after that, he still wants to go out, and she's talking about how tired she is, right? So they left out, and Derek met somebody else that he knew. And Monique got upset about that. So she in the car, she's crying. I'm like, girl, what the fuck are you crying about? Like, she really worked my nerves, and she was irritating the shit out of me with that shit. Like, Monique got on my fucking nerves. So they go back to the hotel room, right? Derek is saying, baby, let's go out. She was like, he want to go to the casino. He's like, I don't even have to gamble. I just want to go out, just have fun. And Derek is like, I'm not trying to hide her, but he feels like Monique is trying to hide him. And then she got mad at him because he called her on her bullshit, right? Because he said, when I was in prison at this time, because you talking about you tired, but when I was in prison, you was texting me talking about call you at 12:30 in the morning. But here you are now talking about you tired, you don't want to go to the casino. I was on Derek's side. Although I do believe that Derek is using her, I was team Derek in this episode, because Monique had me pissed. Like, Monique was full of shit. But that's just literally leading into her insecurities as to who she is. And I don't know why she's so insecure. Because when she talks about herself, she talks about herself with a lot of confidence, right? But I wonder if Monique is wondering if Derek is really there for the long haul. And again, I know last week I saw that she posted that they still together, but it still just gives insecurities to me. But I want you guys to tell me how you think and feel about this episode, and we will discuss it in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn your post notifications on, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, please stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.